while we're going mining here, I figured I would talk about overcoming addiction. I recently just came off of nicotine and life becomes super clear. I realized I was completely outcasted in a sense over my entire reality. I'm barely using nicotine, and numbing off was thrown at my face. And it's made me realize that I couldn't even be connected with myself. While I was using nicotine, I lost complete connection with myself, which I value a lot. I had it for such a long time, and then 3 years ago, I picked up nicotine, and obviously, I didn't run into any issues when I was casually using it. I didn't mind smoking a cigar or an occasional whatever, but as soon as the pouches came out, and obviously those are all the rave right now, and the accessibility became much more easy. You don't have to step outside for a smoke. You can just throw one in, you know what I mean? And the same thing with vaping, right? But this is even more discreet, What I'm trying to make is realizing you're addicted to something is a hard pill to swallow because for a while, I found myself convincing myself, or at least trying to anyways, that I wasn't actually addicted and then I could quit anytime I wanted to. Which is true, but I actually don't think addiction is even about quitting. I mean, I've quit several dozen times now. Just because you don't use it daily doesn't mean you're not addicted, I think, at least in my case. I mean, when I wasn't using it, I was still thinking about it and craving it, and I never fully broke the addiction. That's how I knew I was addicted, is because I would think about it every day and wish I had one in these certain moments. But coming off of it, and I don't know why it's been this time more than any other time, has really just shown me how cloudy my life was. I can think much more clear, I feel much more connected to myself. The clarity is just unreal, and obviously, a lot of people talk about other, effects like, sleep improving, which is one of the biggest ones that I consistently found out, from quitting. Even just your first, on day 1 or day 2, I mean, your sleep is just better. I was a guy that was using, probably at least 10 pouches a day, probably, 6 milligrams. I typically would try to lean myself off with breeze, but I realize you have to just kind of go cold turkey with that. Yeah, it's really eye-opening, quitting an addiction that you have, because you're kind of uncomfortable with regaining power, in a sense. I think if I'm being honest, I wish I'd probably never found out about nicotine or never even dabbled. Realistically, I don't think it's harmful, if you can find a nice even balance. The problem these days is everyone talks about, in moderation, but I think that's just a cop-out for most people to overconsume the things and be virtuous. In moderation usually doesn't mean what it really means. For most people, if you're somebody if they can find that balance and use it very occasionally and only on occasion, I think it's fine. But for me, daily use for a while, I'm convinced that it was helping, and maybe that was true at first, but after a while the sheet gets pulled over your eyes and you're completely unaware of reality itself. And I was always super anxious, and not in I have an anxiety way, but I couldn't sit with myself. Felt like I was just passing reality by and wasn't actually experiencing it. Reality was boring and bland, and I've been trying to get a feel and idea of what it's like, obviously, without it. And that's hard to do, you gotta wait for your baseline to, I'm back, and it's slowly coming back day by day. But I got a few things I got buffer out, be lying if I said I didn't already start to notice a few things. And, it keeps you hopeful that, you can keep doing despite the cravings.